So if you're like me, trying to work out why the world has gone so crazy, trying to understand why you can't talk openly about things anymore, we need to have a look at the World Economic Forum. So let's just talk about what the World Economic Forum stands for. This is what they say. The Forum engages the foremost political, business, cultural and other leaders of society to shape global, regional and industry agendas. So if you look on the World Economic Forum website, there's certain statements that can be found on there, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. You will own nothing and be happy. They're going to make it so hard for you to pay your mortgage, buy your food, anything else that you might want in life, that you'll just go, you know what, you take care of it, take care of me. I've had enough. I don't want anything. I don't want to have to pay this. I don't want the stress of it. I don't want to be homeless. I give up. I give up. You look after me. And that is quite an allure, actually, because when you look at some people and that, the stress they're under to provide, and the way things are going up, we've had interest rates go up, so people's mortgages are going to go up, and that's becoming increasingly expensive. And then that was there to try to bring down inflation, which it hasn't done, and that's still going up. And so somehow they've managed to manipulate the markets, and it's quite obvious that they're doing that because wood is so expensive. And now I'm a tree surgeon, and I didn't stop over COVID cutting trees down. There's not a lack of wood. The wood is still there. COVID's been over, or not been anywhere near what it's been. People have been back to work for a long time. And the price of building materials on wood is so high. There's a deliberate system there that has made that go up. They are deliberately managing to fix the markets so everything is really high. So the idea is squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze until you'll just be glad to be looked after, and then that can completely change the way society runs, and the individual will be gone. The pandemic represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity to reflect, reimagine and reset our world. So they were looking something as a catalyst to get it all going, weren't they? And you can surmise whether COVID was created in a lab, sent out to try to get society changed, to make money dirty and get the digital currency going, and all those things. I believe all those things, by the way. So they put the fear of God into people. The media are complicit, and it should be coming out by now. There is a lot of things out there about this, and thankfully it's getting out there, but it takes people to talk about it. So then Prince Charles piped up, when he was Prince Charles. He said, "As we move from rescue to recovery, therefore, we have a unique but readily shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path. It is an opportunity we have never had before and may never have again. We must use all the levers we have at our disposal, knowing that each and every one of us has a vital role to play." This is for us, this isn't for them. They're still going to get on their jets. We're going to get put into the boxes, and we won't have to travel to work. We'll be working on the metaverse. Our lives will be unfulfilled, but we'll own nothing and be happy. They don't care if you're happy. They'll care if you're happy to get you to do it, and then later on they won't give a f*** because you'll be stuck there. So the World Economic Forum's number 2 had a statement that said that humans are now hackable animals. And yeah, I agree, because they have been able to be hacked through fear, and this was well known. If you get people scared of things, you can get them to do almost anything, and the pandemic proved that. The mask wearing thing, everyone knew how a mask worked, and there's evidence. And John Campbell, there's a video out there from Dr. John Campbell, the study that was done, peer-reviewed paper.
Wearing masks in the community probably makes little or no difference to the outcomes of influenza-like illness. Wearing a mask may make little or no difference to how many people caught a flu-like illness.
And in our last controversial video, we also had someone say that, you know more than the Oxford scientists. I'll let Jimmy Dore answer that one.
Tell me, boy, what you reading for? Don't you know everything that needs to be read's already been readed by a smart person?
So there was also a statement that they put out of a slowing of population. Population is actually already dropping, especially in the West. You look at Italy, massively dropping. Germany, here in the UK, it's dropping. And you know, there's people have concentrated, women especially, have concentrated on their careers. I reckon you've only then got 50% chance of having children after the age of 30 if you're a woman. So that's really worrying. It's a really worrying study that, you know, your time is really precious when you're young if you want children, and not to wait. But we're not being told that because it works, because it actually puts off having more people on the planet, and population in their eyes needs to be limited. And you look at 50-year-olds and 1-year-olds in a lot of these countries, and there is an awful lot more 50-year-olds than there are 1-year-olds. So the population is going to be declining over the next 50 to 100 years. We're going to see a massive decline in population. So if you believe this bunch of corporations that is behind the World Economic Forum have your benefit at heart, you must be really naive, because they're going to shrink your living standards by these statements they've put out. Your living standards are going to shrink while their horizons are going to broaden. They are going to have more space and land because of your shrinking living standards. They're going to be able to fly on their jets because you're not even going to be able to have a car. This is what they want. They've got the money. Now they're for the power. So it's very, very easy when you join the dots and look at these people of what is happening. And it's been a really interesting experiment watching it unfold. And me and my wife, we talk about it and we go, my God, the world has gone crazy. And then when you realise that these people are behind it, it starts to make some sense. So what does all this have to do with off-grid? So off-grid is a part of the answer to combating them. Because if they shut down my bank account, I can potentially still grow food. You can potentially still grow food. You can potentially still have fuel as you know, for a wood burner. You can still have heat. You've got space because you own land. You are much harder to control than if you are living in the box on a universal income, which they have talked about potentially giving people. It's not the be all and end all, but it is a big start to trying to have some success against what's coming. But you have to step up and take responsibility. You have to do more work, unfortunately. There's no progress without trade-offs, and this life is hard because you're doing everything. There is an alternative life to a life of owning nothing, and this is it.